so happy you're here for this big full moon of Aquarius. So many of you are Aquariuses, I know you. And so it's a time of big envisioning and a lot of change on the planet. This year, as you know, has been so intense. Since 2020, it began. We were talking about the astrology of back, since I was a kid, we talked about what's going to happen in 2020 because of the astrology, right? It showed it, and we thought, what's going to possibly happen that's going to be such a big deal that's going to last for so long and change our world? And who would have ever guessed that it would have been a virus? It brought us to our knees, the whole country, the whole world. And so we're still in that, not so much that aspect of it anymore, but that world-changing aspect is still happening. And we're right at the apex or the center of this arc that goes from 2020 to 2025, and we're right at the midpoint of it. So it's an intense time. It's also the month of Leo, so this is powerful, the roar, right, of the roar of our hearts, the roar of our voice. That is happening right now, where there's a lot of people expressing, but with the full moon in Aquarius, it's about really going inward. It's about meditation, right? It's about going into meditation and getting an alignment, reconnecting to your alignment, realizing realizing that there is an alignment, right? Then connecting consciously to that alignment so that you can have that download that happens in a meditation. So what I'm going to start with today, I'm going to just share the chart just so you can see it. And here we go. And so here's the sun in Leo, and here's the moon in 19 Aquarius, 19 Leo. And what we've got is this very intense aspect with this particular full moon. The sun opposing the moon as always with the full moon, but the moon is conjunct Saturn. And that moon-Saturn conjunction is squaring Uranus and Mars, right? And that sun is also squaring Uranus and Mars. So this is very reminiscent about what happened in 2020, that time where everything changed. And so it's coming up again where there's change again. So you may be noticing that and experiencing that a lot in your life and feeling that sort of, are we there yet? Did we get there yet? When is this going to be over? How do we do this? It's hard right now. It's actually hard. And, to me, it's good to know. I use the analogy of the mall map. When you're at the mall and there's a map and it says, there's Sears over here and May Company over there and Nordstrom over there, and you've got that map and it says on the map, big red dot, you are here. So that you can look and see on the map, where do you want to go from that point, right? And it really helps to see that. But the thing I've added recently about that is you also need to know which floor you're on, right? Because if you're on floor 2 and you think you're on floor 1, then no matter which way you go, you're not going to find what you're looking for. And so the power of knowing, right, to understand yourself, to understand, as best as we can, what's going on in the world, that we can then know better where we're going and actually achieve getting there because we know where we are, right? And meditation is knowing where you are. So many of my meditations, say, how are you? I say it all the time. How are you today? And it's the thing we say to each other, right? In the world, we say, how are you? And we say, fine. But of course, in the meditation, what we're looking for is that bigger answer. How am I? How am I? And to learn to answer that honestly, right? To even know what that honest answer is, right? Is the map. I am here. So if I am here, and this is happening, I can at least know, okay, where am I in relationship to this, right? So if this is some event or some, drama in the life, and I am here, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling solid, I'm feeling insecure, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling afraid, right? Then my energy is reacting to this energy. And now, if I'm not knowing where I am, I'm going to get thrown around and be part of this chaotic energy. But when I know where I am, right, the alignment, when I know where I am, and I might not, might be having a hard time, I might be having a wonderful time, but either way, right, I still know where I am, really and truly. Self-honesty, right? Then I can navigate the map. And so to me, that's why it's helpful, these conversations that we're having and this very dramatic time that we're in. Using astrology sometimes, I have such mixed feelings about that because I don't really use astrology to make decisions or anything in my own life, but there is something cosmic, right, about these big, big wheels turning of planets that have vibration that affect the life. And so when you know that the moon is in Aquarius, that has a feeling to it that's really creating and setting a tone for the whole month. Right? And these pulses, we call them, right? These pulses that we go through, it sort of gives you some information about where to be and where the world kind of is, and then your relationship to it, right? What's your relationship to it? Back to the map, right? So when we meditate, we're saying, how am I? And listening for that answer, not the drama, not, oh, I'm so sad. It's just, I'm so sad. It is what it is. We're not trying to build it or dramatize it. It's just the awareness to know where we are. Then, even if I'm having a day like that, if I'm sad, I can still meet my day, like this. I really can, and I do, because it really doesn't make any difference how I'm feeling. It is more my alignment, right? And how I'm feeling is what I'm dealing with and how I'm managing myself, and maybe, information for me about my life. But finally, what it comes down to is what I do. You can see by action who someone is, right? It's not what they say necessarily, but it is what we do. It's what we do. How do we show up? So even on your worst day, right, that you could still show up, and do your job and do it well. And in my work, I've noticed that even when I'm feeling kind of the worst, I sort of teach the best. It's funny that way because it focuses me in a way. And I use the energy of that to tighten and heighten my alignment. It doesn't throw me off. This is the power of meditation. This is what I'm trying to say, is that when you meditate, you have a landing pad. You have a place where you know who you are. You have a place that consciously acknowledges that there is an alignment and that you have one yourself with your soul. And that this is a relationship, right, that we can encourage and grow and become more one with, or we can pretend it's not there and be part of this drama out here again. So that moon conjunct Saturn, just touching that again, means this is kind of hard right now. And we have to be, I would say, a little more disciplined, with our focus and how we are responding or reacting to the life, right? And so things are going quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And man, even since I was born till now, the speed of life is, tripled and quadrupled. And I've just watched it go faster and faster. And it's the internet. It's the world's so small now. We are all looking. We can see everybody everywhere. And there's just a lot of information out there all the time, and we're getting it all the time. And so you have to manage yourself in that so that you stay steady, you stay centered, no matter what's happening outside of ourselves, right? So that's why we meditate, that's why we meet. The meditation, the full moon was exact an hour ago or so, around 6:36. So we're right in it, at the top of it, even though we're just after it. It's still super, super heightened. And what's nice about, doing these pulses close and coming up to the full moon like that is that there are so many people meditating together around the whole entire planet, because everyone, can see where the moon is. Right? We can all look and say, oh, it's there, it's full, or it's new, or it's quarter, or it's gibbous. We can see it coming. And we can, without a clock, without a calendar, we have this way to connect energies and make a collective wish, right? Or a collective healing with these full moons. We can use them and we can align ourselves to them. My most favorite time of the moon cycle is the new moon part of it's what I call backstage. It's what's happening in preceding the full moon, which is in full drama. So by the time that the moon is full, things are moving, it's fast, and things are acting up and out, right? Not necessarily you, but around you. And in ourselves, because we're going to be encountering, right, others, and we're going to be encountering events, we're going to be encountering situations, we're going to be encountering, the news, and it's coming at you, right? And so you go back to your center again. So you always know where you are, always. And that inner guidance system, like a GPS, but it's like a soul PS, soul system, soul guidance system, right? Where that part of you, no matter if you were upside down or in outer space, right? Or 100 years old or 9 years old, you'd know where you are. And so you're cultivating consciousness. You're cultivating a on purpose awakeness to the life, to the dream, your dreams, right? To your thinkings, to your feelings. How are you? How are you? Really? And if you and I were talking, right, I'd be saying, how, really, no, really, 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 how are you? And you would really tell me, right? And then we would be two or more are gathered. We would hold the space for the growth that's trying to happen, because everything is happening for our growth, for our new, better understanding, for our greater awareness, no matter how hard it might seem. And in fact, if you think about it, it's the harder times when we learn the most and the fastest. Unfortunately, it doesn't have to be like that. You can learn through play and joy, too, very quickly, even faster, actually. But what adults know how to play, right? Or be in joy. It's like feel guilty if you're there, or you feel like a sinner, or you're bad, or you should be struggling, and all of that. And the fastest way to learn is in pure joy. It's how I learned everything in my life that I love. When I played piano, as my friend taught me. She said, oh, I'm 10 years old, and she taught me how to play piano, and I taught everybody I know how to play piano because she made it seem fun and easy, and I just learned, right? And I liked it. So so that playful learning, I learned all of this in huge data bank of information, and it came easily to me because I did it in play. But unfortunately, when we get older, like I'm talking 12, 13, we become self-conscious, right? And then we don't want to make a mistake, and we're so embarrassed, and we can hardly stand, the discomfort of anybody noticing us, and et cetera, often, right? And so that play learning stops. And now we learn from pain, and now we learn from struggle, and now we learn from the hard way, basically. So it's kind of the hard way right now out there, but that does not mean that it has to be hard, right? Because the thing that makes it hard is the resistance. So I talk about that all the time, right? It's the resistance that makes things feel as bad and last so long, right? And the more you're in the flow, the more you go, okay, to things. Okay, all right. You might not even know why, but you say yes. You'll see that those things that seem to be apparent obstacles just sort of either fall away or actually are better, right? But that resistance has to be this way. This is the only way I can be happy, is if I'm with this type of person, at this time in my life, with this much money, with this education, with 3 children, and all these things that we make rules for ourselves of what is happiness. And well, like the Dalai Lama says, happiness is acceptance, right? And unhappiness, I say, right, is unhappiness is not acceptance. Right? And so how do you get in flow with your life? How do you know? I've got a book in my library case. I turn books forward so you can always see the title. And the title is on this one of them is, How Do You Want What You Already Have? Right? It's like, how can you, and basically what that means is, how can I be happy with the conditions that they are? Not when I win the lottery, not when I meet the special person, not when I finish school, right? Now. So how do we do that, right? And it's just this acceptance, right? To be at peace in the place that you are. And when you meditate, you're building this massive muscle that says, it doesn't matter what's happening out here. It matters what's happening in here. And from in here, then I can respond to it. And because things are intense in the way that they are, this is more important than usual. And I think a lot of people are building muscles they didn't know they had. And you're finding out how strong you actually are, and how much you can actually hold, and how much you can actually help, right? By your steadiness, by your awareness, by your alignment. So that's sort of the idea of this full moon. And one of the words I wrote down about it was limitations, right? Saturn in conjunct the moon, opposed the sun, squaring Uranus and Mars. Huge limitations. Can't go forward. Can't, get out of jail free. It's like you have to go back to the beginning in a way. So there's limitations right now with things. So if you don't react to that, and you just go, okay, there's limitations to things right now, then you won't be, heartbroken or damaged or take it personally that this is all at you, when it's sort of the energy right now. As a sensitive person and a spiritual person, one of my greatest loves in my teaching work is to help other sensitive spiritual people, because we have a whole different added vocabulary, right, than that more black and white view, because it's like you can hear more sounds or you can see more colors, right? There's sensitivity is seeing more colors, right? Feeling more feelings, being aware of not just yourself, but if we walk into a room or we walk into a Zoom, right, there's a feeling, there's a collective feeling in the room. And if we focused on any single one, we could feel something back from that, right? That's what sensitive people can do. One of the things that I love is to empower that, to not think of that as a problem in your life because you can feel so much, but as a gift in your life because you can feel so much, right? But in the beginning, and it was certainly that way for me, it's pretty intense because you got to be able to tell the difference between yourself and the other. So limitations, and then the other thought was, okay, so I put limitations, soberness, and heavy. So these kinds of words, right, to kind of have to be serious right now. And be adult, to be mature, to do the right thing, all those kinds of things. Work hard, those ideas, right? But what I titled this in my mind, because I've been titling these full moons lately, is Vision Saves the Day. All right? So yes, all that's happening. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All that limitation, all that hard work. Oh, yes, we have to be disciplined. Yes, we have to, work at staying optimistic about and hopeful towards this, what feels like a hopeless situation at times, right? And not join the fight that's happening out there. There's a fight happening out there to the death. You can feel it. And it's just like, where you're on this side or that side, or you're for them or against them. And you just are holding the middle, holding the middle, holding the middle, right? Holding the love that holds all the sides. So it's not me and them, right? So all of that's happening, and vision saves the day. Vision saves the day. That's Aquarian energy. It looks forward. It's in the future. It plans for infrastructure of 20 years from now. That's Aquarian energy, right? The other signs, right? It's like now, right? We want what we want when we want it. Aquarian looks ahead and says, well, what are we going to do with, our roads in 50 years? Or how do we, what is with automobiles? How are we going to change the automobiles, our car, our gas, our fuel use to something better? Our batteries better, sort of, maybe, I don't know, but it's a next step, right? But there's better ideas out there. Aquarian energy looks forward and imagines, and it creates. And so one of the key words for Aquarius is invention. Right? So maybe you'll be the person that invents something new that helps our world, whether it be a book you write or a thing you make, or a group that is organized. Like remember, the United Nations wasn't always there, right? The democracy wasn't always there, right? The Constitution was written not that long ago. And you think of that, those people came together very Aquarianly, came together with a group effort to make a forward motion for the world, right? And that would change, and it did. And it came with all these utopian, idealistic ideas, right? And we got planted into our country. So, and that's part of what's going on right now, right? It's being challenged. Pluto opposing Pluto, right? It's being challenged. And so so what is the invention that's going to come out of this generation? What's the inventiveness that's going to come out of your own life? And the idea also of reinventing yourself. That we have chapters of our lives, And you can think of those times, and in astrology we call them, the Saturn Cycles. Saturn, the hard work of life, what you're here for, what you're supposed to do, right? It's in 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, all the way on and on and on, are clicks of learning, of maturing in a way. And you think of those times. 7, you start going to school. 14, you're starting to go into your puberty, right? And whatever that all is, and then 21, you become an adult, right? Kind of, right? And then 28, you really are an adult. You got to get it together now. You don't have, and then it keeps going like that in these cycles. And you can mark those points in your life, especially spiritual people, because so many spiritual people that I know at 7-ish, something happens. There you have to wake up all of a sudden really fast, and you're older than your friends are, or you're different than your friends are, right? In some way you get conscious, right? Something happens. 14, same thing, and you can kind of look at your life and wonder about those things. And spiritual people definitely are triggered by these points, because, in a good way, because I call it getting up to speed. We want to get access to our all-knowing, for the knowing from forever, from our soul. So when we go into this meditation in a moment, we're going to touch into that vision, and the vision for your life, and the vision for us all, and to kind of hold a vision for us all, for our world to heal, for our whole world to heal, and our whole world to heal of ourselves inside that. So we'll use that Aquarian energy, right, to invent, to create, to imagine the infrastructure of a better world or a better health, right? Whatever the subject is, you can make it personal to yourself. And then we'll do something at the end for the whole world. So I think that's a good place to go in. So when you're ready to, if you have a candle, we'll light it. If you don't have a candle, don't worry, because we'll just do what I'm at in your mind, which works just fine. That's pretty. I love everybody's candles that I can see. It's nice, isn't it? Everybody's showing, and you can see them lighting up, and it's nice. So here we are. Oh, one more thing. So I know I'm going a little long right now. The Sabian symbol for the full moon is 20 degrees Aquarius, and the Sabian symbol is a big white dove bears a message. We had that same symbol recently, a few months ago, with a different planet, but this is the full moon, so this is going to go everywhere. A big white dove. What is dove? Right? It's peace. It's peace. Right? Bears a message. It's sacred. It's the divine, right? Coming down saying peace. So I'm just going to put that into the mix of this. So when you're ready to, close your eyes and just be aware of all the awareness in this group. All this consciousness, all this willingness, all this spirit, all this light, all this light. And as you're aware of all this light, of all this consciousness in our own group and around the world, be grateful for that you even have something like this in your life, or a place to connect at this level of very high vibration, right? To connect even higher with a group of kindred souls. All this light, and all this light that you are too. You are too, this light. And from this light awareness, feel the light of yourself like a star, radiating from your heart center out, letting these rays of light go to anyone that comes to mind. Family, friends, people here, to all of us. People in form, people not in form. And as you extend this light out like beams, right? Rays of light to others that come to mind. Just feel the kindredness. This is one of my favorite words, kindred. All this kindredness with like hearts, somehow they're family, and they might literally be family, and they might be spiritual family, but it's family. And so you're touching light to light, awareness to awareness. And then just pick your energy up from your heart center to your head center, inside the center of the cave, inside the head, into the stillness. And as you do so, know that this phrase, I and the soul are one. I and the soul are one. And just knowing that, and some of you will feel that tonight. You'll actually feel the link. And it can feel like chills, it can feel like just energy, it can feel like light. It can feel all kinds of ways, so I don't want to name it to be specific because people experience it very differently. But it's definitely a feeling of yes. And being known by the ancient aspect of the self. The soul is in meditation deep. And it is aware of you always. And we can be aware too, back. As you link up, it syncs you up to that alignment I was speaking about earlier. That it doesn't matter what's happening on the outside, because there's a connection on the inside. And you feel that profound, beautiful, ancient relationship between the soul and the self. And the soul and the self become one. And from this place of remembering who you really are, from this place, you stand on this platform of light and you look out and you can see. And what do you see? In your vision, in your inner vision, as you look out. And I want you to imagine into your life your essence being truly expressed by your art, by your words, by your action, by what you make, by what you do. And envision it being received in your world in a way that helps the world. That, what am I trying to say? You matter. It matters, and you matter. That your awareness matters. And you begin to realize yourself, which is self-realization. You begin to realize yourself. And within this meditation on this platform of light, envisioning now, what could it look like? What are you maybe stopping yourself from doing? That would be this beautiful offering, if you had the courage, right, to give it, to offer it. To follow your bliss, as Joseph Campbell said. Right? Because our bliss is our answer. What you love is what is somehow we have to do, we get to do, right? What you love. What do you love? What do you love? Your growing love and growing light. And inside this meditation, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be specific. It's more the feeling of the thing. The feeling of meaningfulness. Right? The feeling of being known by someone. How rare that is and how important that is. The feeling of knowing someone. So it's not so much that you have to, design a dream job right now, although you might be, which is okay too. but it's more the feeling of the joy of being able, of getting to do that, right? And maybe and hopefully you already are doing something of that, right, in your life right now that you love. So from your center point, imagine these rays, these spokes of light going out and touching out past yourself into your communities, right, into your home, so that your house reflects you. It has art in it that you love. It has colors in it that make your heart happy, right? That when you open the drawer, you can find something just like that, right? Like order, beauty, truth, connection, appreciation, appreciating someone, being appreciated, right? All of that. See those spokes, these rays of light going all around your life, touching people, right? Changing your world, showing up, being light. Even when you're standing in line at Trader Joe's, you be light, right? You be light. Or if you're doing something really important, like landing a plane or building a building, right? All of these things, taking a photograph, making beauty, making art, making heart, right? Making love. Shining these lines out. And in that radiance, you stand in the center. With your vision, with your clear seeing, that you can see more with your eyes closed through this third eye, with your accurate vision, with your honest seeing, without judgment, just perception. And as this light radiates out, it touches anybody you know, everybody you know, every situation you're aware of. This light touches, this light touches. World situations, personal situations. This light touches everything that comes to mind. And in the center of that is this big calm. This big calm. And you breathe through this calm, gently. And you let that calm touch you, and especially your nervous system, but also your physical body, your muscles, your bones, your bloodstream, your circulatory system, right? This calm, energetic calm, that becomes physical calm. Calm. And in this calm, you're still radiating this light. Not pushing, not forcing, just like the sun does, it just shines. And you just shine. You just shine. This is who you are. I am light in form. You are light in form. And in this meditation today, feeling the star light of you and your radiance and your visioning and your showing up and your beautiful awareness. We are connected by love. We are guided by light. And just sending that out there like waves of pink clouds of heart and light beyond yourself, so that your house is full of this light, your body is full of this light, your neighborhood is full of this light, the world is full of our light and the light of all of us. Home. Good. Good, and then just use your breath now to gradually bring yourself present into your feet, into your spine, into your body. Letting all this meditation integrate. Remembering I am light and form. Om. Taking that with you out there. And sort of looking for that message, a big white dove. What's that message right now? Look for it. It could show up in your dream tonight. It could show up tomorrow in the morning. It could be there right now. A gift for you. A realization for you. Good, and when you're ready to, letting your breath get deeper and fuller. Until it starts to feel natural. To begin to transition out of this meditation when you're ready to. Yay. Good. It's a practice. It's a practice. This is all a practice. Every day. You do it again. You do it again. How am I now? How are you now? From when we began till now. Can you feel you're different than when you started? Right? Now how am I? Now how am I? Realigning to that. You are here. So you are here on this full moon, just an hour after it. And the next one is, September 10th, which will probably be the 9th, is what I'm thinking. And we'll be having another meditation class on the new moon around. So that's 2 weeks from now, and I'll be announcing that. So I hope you can join us. So thank you so much for being here. Sorry I went long, but I will talk to you all soon, some way or somehow, I hope. And have a wonderful month. Vision. I see.